Planet Hollywood Costa Rica, the last hotel on my Costa Rica adventure. As always, I'm getting right into the video. I got here yesterday at 2 p.m. and it was one of the most interesting entrances I've ever had. I was told to walk down the red carpet, which is very Planet Hollywood-esque, but then everyone started clapping. Apparently everybody is a star here at Planet Hollywood. I didn't have a problem with it, even though I thought it was a little cringy, but those who have a little anxiety, social anxiety, beware. I was met with a Purple Haze welcome drink and told to wait on a sofa for my S-Class check-in. When it was time for that, I walked into the S-Class lounge where there are snacks and refreshments. My room was not quite ready, so I went to the buffet. This is a Royalton property, and the buffet went about as you would expect. This is the cheapest S-Class room available, but actually one of the very best on property. I was told that this has the most magnificent views of the entire property. Penthouse level in the S-Class building, I'm overlooking the entire property, the entire cliff. I'm basically overlooking the entirety of Papagayo. The views are absolutely incredible. As far as the room, let me give you a rundown very quickly. I'll start with the mini bar. It's one of the first things you see. There's a coffee maker snack area and then the actual mini bar refrigerator. I always like when there are snacks in the room, and this isn't just 1 or 2, it's actually 4 or 5. And then the actual mini bar is Pepsi products with a variety of juices, milks, and mixers. When you get into the main room, there is a sofa that pulls out into a sleeper. The king-size bed not only has a leather headboard, the entire room has a brick accent wall, very appropriately decorated with the Planet Hollywood stars above it. On the other side of that comfortable bed is the television. What's above it is the coolest thing. It's a quote from Ferris Bueller's. Although it isn't my favorite movie or favorite quote, I do like it when they put a famous movie line in the rooms. It's something that I've come to grow and love about Planet Hollywood and Hard Rock. You will be using the TV, it's interactive. That is where you're gonna explore your activities and options for the day. You can check out the different restaurants and their menu. You can even order room service, which I did last night, and I will definitely fill you in on that later. The entire bathroom area is compartmentalized. You can actually completely close it off because the Purple Haze acid-etched mirror doors open and close. On one side of the bathroom is the water closet as well as the main closet area with 2 robes hanging in them. The robes are deceiving. They look ultra thick, but they're really super thin. My favorite thing about the Planet Hollywood robes is that it has the outer protection on it. The main bathroom area is very Planet Hollywood-esque. It is very reminiscent of Cancun, where you have the vanity area that is very photo studio-esque with the square mirrors and the illuminated lights. The shower is all the way at the end of the room. It is literally the anchor, oversized with a rain head and nice stonework throughout. The coolest thing about it is the window. It's frosted all the way until about chest, neck high, and then it's completely clear. It opens and closes just a little bit, allowing you to take in the sights and sounds of Costa Rica. The shower is amazing, but the views are incredible. I should say they're actually life-changing. And because I'm up here all the way at the top of the cliff, and then also at the top of my building, penthouse level, I have survey over the entire property. I can keep my eye on all the action at Planet Hollywood itself, the pools down at the bottom of the cliff, the restaurants down there, the beach, and the ocean. All right, good morning. Another typical day here at Planet Hollywood, Costa Rica, at least from what I've experienced. Overcast, cloudy, but beautiful, extremely beautiful. Just taking a walk back down to the pool area. If you want to get some steps in, or if you love exercise, hills, walking in general, you're gonna love this property. If you don't, they do have carts to bring you up and down. It's extremely steep. For anyone that's just like a little tweaky or a little cringy with their knee, you're taking the cart for sure. So while I'm down here, I think it's only befitting that I talk about dinner last night. It was the best Blue Diamond dinner I've had up until this point. Now, Blue Diamond is basically Royalton. You know, the Royalton Chic, Planet Hollywood, that whole group of hotels. The salmon is usually at an all-inclusive something more akin to what you'd find on Fear Factor instead of Food Network, but it was definitely closer to Food Network at this place. And then the Tiki Cloud drink, I couldn't believe where I was. That drink was in the running for one of the best drinks I've had this entire year. The ingredients were incredible. The presentation was marvelous, and then they topped it off with a little bit of experiential stuff. They smoked it, and they smoked it with cinnamon. I was in heaven. Great meal, fantastic meal. I'm gonna go into Blue Star right now. It's a Tex-Mex place, but it's open exclusively for breakfast for S-Class members. So breakfast was good. It was really good. In fact, I'm going back there for dinner tonight. Food has been a huge upside, a huge surprise here, and thank goodness, because the weather has not been cooperative. If the food was not good, I would be absolutely furious because there would be nothing to do. But luckily, I do not have that problem. The avocado French toast this morning was delightful with the egg and the salmon. The juices were ultra fresh, made just for me. The pulp was still suspended in the liquid. And then, of course, the Pura Vida eggs. Tomorrow is shaping up to be a huge day. I have the Purple Haze, Purple Rain, Purple Party down at the pool tomorrow afternoon. It's their version of a foam party, so hopefully that is gonna be awesome. And then I have dinner at the best restaurant here to end my trip tomorrow night. I'm going to the steakhouse. Between now and then, I have to check out some entertainment, some nightlife, basically just explore the property. I will get it all done, just I hope that the weather cooperates. Quite the gloomy and familial day here at Planet Hollywood Costa Rica. I'm surprised that I don't have more stays like this. Rarely is the entire stay plagued by rain. Usually I get at least one sunny day, and I'm hoping that tomorrow will be that day. I really need it to be. Not only because I want to go to the pool party in the afternoon, but because I want to go back to the beach. It is a true black sand beach. The one at Rio was volcanic in nature. This is an authentic black sand beach, and I find black sand beaches to be a lot like the G-Wagon. They're so ugly that they're actually enduring after a while, and you see them through a prism of beauty. The colors and the luminescence that radiates and reflects off the black sand is so unique. It's almost like a rainbow blue color, and my camera had no idea how to interpret it. I couldn't tell if it was white, if it was blue, if it was a rainbow. Not only is the beach here at Planet Hollywood Costa Rica unique because it's black sand, but also because the sandy area is extremely long and shallow. You can walk out probably 40 or 50 yards. You can walk up and down the shoreline in either direction. The pool reminded me a lot of Royalton Barbaro, Punta Cana, both because of its style and because of the crowd. The main activity today was the volleyball game, and in case you're wondering who the most patient person in Costa Rica is, it is the volleyball referee at the pool here at Planet Hollywood Costa Rica. He has a heart of gold. Patience that is godlike. There is a bar on either side, and after finishing my incredible Hulk drink at Point Break, I went over to Guy Fieri's burger joint. It is definitely better than the one in Cancun by a magnitude of probably 4. It actually does the brand more homage and service than it does injustice. Everything down from the menu, the food quality, the experience, definitely paid tribute to the brand. And although it isn't anything close to what you would find at, like, say, a Guy Fieri's in Las Vegas, it definitely was a decent burger for what you could get at an all-inclusive. Tex-Mex was quite the experience indeed. I'll fill you in tomorrow morning. The night continues. I'm off to the lobby bar for a nightcap. These silent parties, these headphone parties, they have to stop immediately. not once in the history of humanity, actually not once in the history of intelligent galactical life has anyone ever said, I am absolutely pumped for the headphone party tonight. I feel like the headphone party has an ulterior origin. Like there was a noise statute or they had to keep the property quiet and somebody came up with the bright idea of having a headphone party, a silent party. Whatever the origin, hopefully an ending is coming soon because they are terrible. And having one as the prime form of entertainment at a Planet Hollywood in Costa Rica on a Friday night is criminal. And I will tell you what else is criminal, is having one bartender at the main lobby bar. Again, peak season Friday night, Costa Rica, Planet Hollywood. There are 3 groups here which they knew about, so the place is absolutely packed, and drinks took 30 to 45 minutes last night. Now, I will give Planet Hollywood the benefit of the doubt and assume they did not have it scheduled that way. I'm just going to assume that someone canceled or something happened, but still, intent is not execution, and the execution last night was dreadful. It really subtracted from what could have been a marvelous evening, considering that cocktail list was fantastic. I was really looking forward to working my way around it, and it just didn't happen. Hail Mary worked literally the last hour on the 4th day. 1 hour before the purple party, the sun makes an appearance. Oh, ye of little faith. I knew it the whole time. I was so enthralled and caught up in the weather, I forgot there was an S-class pool. Apparently there is a menu here. It's lunchtime. I'm going to check it out, and it's time for the party. The S-Class pool is exactly what I thought it would be. Just a small little pool to set up base camp or to retreat to if things get a little too busy throughout the day. There is indeed a bar there with a really nice cocktail list, and there are finger foods like simple foods, burgers, hot dogs, nachos, wraps at the other end of the pool if you want to order something very quickly throughout the day. I came back down to the beach to see if it was any different when the sun was hitting it in the afternoon. I actually prefer it in the morning, even when it's overcast, because just the way that sun hits it in the morning, you know, it emits that blue radiant fog. That's just an unbeatable experience. I must have been really lucky when I was out here the other day because that shelf I walked out to is now completely gone. That was like 40 yards out. So obviously that's only available when the tides are low. I'm glad I got a chance to experience that. And I've been meaning to mention this, there is a marina about a half mile down. I was gonna walk to it at some point, I just never got the chance, but there is a really cool dive bar restaurant that you wanna keep your eye on if things do get monotonous here. All right, so it's my last night in Costa Rica, and it's going to be a big one for sure. I just got awakened. I awoke in the strangest manner, which I will tell you about in just a few seconds here. The party wasn't really a party, it was more of a performance. It was kind of like methodical, where they had introductions and they had different stages. It was kind of more coordinated, overly coordinated, I should say. But that's fine. It was fun, it was polished, it was classy, it appealed to all ages, it was different, very unique. The train entrance was really cool. The kids loved the characters and costumes. They set aside 5 minutes ahead of time for pictures in case anybody wanted any. I thought that was a really conscientious idea. And then what appealed to me on the adult side was the DJ on the roof deck, the purple haze in the champagne flutes being passed around, and then the raft of gasoline tropical nectars. That was a really cool idea. So I was sleeping, and then I awoke to what I thought was like gunshots. And much to my surprise, I went out on the balcony and it was fireworks. And I couldn't believe what I saw. It was a phenomenal show, like incredible. I've seen my fair share of fireworks, and I've rarely seen any at an all-inclusive. Typically, it's like in China, Las Vegas, London, Atlantic City, but rarely at an all-inclusive. And if I do see it at an all-inclusive, it's feeble, it's meek, it's a whimper of an attempt. And this was like 6 minutes, like a full show, of fireworks, really quality, impressive, great ending. And I just feel really fortunate to have seen it because I don't think it's something that's regular here. No one talked about it. No one on the staff, none of the patrons here. My butler never said anything. It's not on the schedule. I think it was for one of the groups. It was mesmerizing. It is forever ingrained into my head. And I just, again, feel really special to have that moment. I gotta say, that was the best entertainment show I've seen at any all-inclusive. Not the production caliber or setting that I had at Lopasan, but everything else. From the choreography, to the creativity, to the execution, to the diversity of content. The number of performers, usually there's like 4, 6, maybe 8. This one had at least a dozen. From the fire show, the intro cast of characters, the acrobatics, dubstep, progressive house, Pirates of the Caribbean, and everything in between. I always go to those shows begrudgingly, and that one was a treat. That was one of the best things I've done here at this property. Two words: big burger. I had to come down here and do some flights of steps because that thing was gigantic. If it's on the menu, I usually almost always get the mixed grill because it's the best way to judge the quality of the restaurant and also explore a lot of different items on the menu. But I saw the big burger and I said, how big is it? He said, it's really big. So that piqued my interest, and it was. It was the size of a softball. The burger itself was like the size of a hockey puck. There were like 7 or 8 slices of cheese, like 3 slices of tomato, bacon, who knows what else. But that wasn't the coolest thing about dinner. It was the drinks beforehand. There's a little pop-up bartender station that's just outside of the steakhouse. I asked for something that was unique, different, special, and wow, did that bartender deliver. He was gifted. He did like a volcano type of moat, and he essentially set the entire bar on fire, and then he topped it off with these cinnamon sparks, which was just beyond cool. So I actually had a couple really fun drinks there. The drinks and the food have been really surprising on the upside. So the sports bar last night was actually more of an ultra lounge with televisions and a pool table, which is my ideal version of a sports lounge. Very trendy in there, and the purple fluorescent lighting was very apropos for the Planet Hollywood theme look and experience. It was smaller than I anticipated, but it was compartmentalized, dining up front, and then the lounge bar area in back. It becomes one big lounge after 10 p.m. because then it becomes drink only. And people continue to funnel in throughout the entire night. There's a DJ in there. And I always just like it when there is a dedicated spot for adults and an all-inclusive, and that was it. And it's open till 1 a.m. And now it's 10 a.m., and it looks like this property is going to get some sunshine for today. Unfortunately, I won't be able to enjoy that, but I can do 2 more things. 2 more things, but 1 mega breakfast. So that was 2 things, but I owe you an update on 3. Let's start with dinner at the Tex-Mex restaurant. The wait for my food was so slow, they actually brought out nachos, which I did not order, as another appetizer. Now that's actually a good and a bad thing. I really appreciate the empathy of the staff to understand that the wait was long and for them to bring out nachos. But also on the other end of the spectrum, it's really bad when they're bringing out nachos because your meal is taking so long. I did something that I rarely do, and that is order a drink I had to pay extra for, but it was like a Corona Ita or a Margarona. The funny thing is, though, there aren't any straws on property, so it was impossible to drink, literally, so I had to dump the entire Corona in the glass. So that is why the meal was interesting. The coffee shop was my go-to spot throughout this entire stay. Open from 6 to 6. I wish it was open a little later to serve my late night caffeine addiction, but the coffee was fantastic. There's a machine in there if you don't want to wait for the line, and it's a great place to grab snacks, sweets, and sandwiches. So the buffet is actually the most disappointing place to eat on this property. It's average at best. I went there for lunch on my first day and was extremely disappointed. I went back for breakfast and it didn't get much better. All right, Planet Hollywood, Costa Rica, 3 big little things. The first one is the hill. If you love getting your steps in, if you love exercise, you're gonna really enjoy this property. Walking up and down it is indeed a workout. But if you are not of that ilk, this property, that hill, is gonna get annoying extremely quickly. Number 2 would be the room service. It is good. And for a Royalton and all-inclusive, it's actually really good. I ordered so many items on the menu throughout my entire 3-day stay here, and I can say categorically, the room service is good. And lastly would be S-Class. I found it not to be worth the money. Breakfast down at the Tex-Mex place is absolutely the best thing about S-Class here. Perhaps you might get a room with a great view like this, and you do get access to some extra room service items, such as ceviche and the shrimp, but that's really where the value and differences end. I saw little value in the S-Class pool, and things like the sky deck by the pool and the S-Class lounge by the lobby I found to be inert. Okay, I gotta get out of here. 3 negatives, 3 positives, and my rating of the property. The first negative would be the hill. And when you actually kind of take a look and examine this property, there isn't really any property. It's basically the Costa Rican version of a high-rise. You're basically going up and down from the pool to the main building, but there really isn't any landscape here. Number 2 would be the room. I found it to be upscale, luxurious, the bed was comfortable. The shower and the balcony were enjoyable beyond belief, but it was loud. I could hear doors slamming on this floor and the one below me, trucks coming up and down the hill the entire time, dropping people off as well as supplies. The room has 0 soundproofing. I'm up here at the top of the cliff, on the very top floor. I would be very curious what the other rooms are like at the base part of the property. Number 3 is the beach. I was told the Guanacaste beaches are really nice. That is not true at all. Well, at least compared to like Jamaica, Cancun, or the Dominican Republic. The black sand beach is like the G-Wagon. It's so ugly, it's cool. I think the purists are gonna like it, but if you're not an avid beach goer, I think you're gonna be extremely disappointed in the beach here. So those are the negatives. What about the positives? The first one would be the food and the drinks. Never in my life did I expect to come to Planet Hollywood, Costa Rica, a Royalton property, and exclaim the food and the drinks to be my favorite part. Number 2 is the location. Papagayo is world famous for a reason, arguably the most exclusive and beautiful part of Costa Rica. And lastly, number 3 would just be the concept. Papagayo stayed true to Papagayo. Planet Hollywood stayed true to its core. They actually worked together to create an experience that was unique, classy, chic, fun, comfortable, upscale, warm, and unexpected. For a family hotel, for a Royalton property, for a Planet Hollywood, for an all-inclusive, in a lot of ways, my expectations were shattered in terms of style, luxury, and just overall fun. I'm not saying that this trip was unforgettable, but what I am saying is that a few of the moments are. Ultimately, I'm rating Planet Hollywood Costa Rica a 4.